Walkenup sink. 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 Walkenup sink.
Welcome to another episode of the Walkenup Sink, where they be walking up sink. I'm your host, Cat. This is the Walkenup Sink podcast. They be walking up sink. Today I went to Walmart. There was a baby crying synced, and he was crying his head off like he was in pain or something. It's weird. There's babies crying synced, and they're like, like it was like a little toddler or something, maybe, or a baby. I don't know. I see a bicycle synced, and I saw a motorcycle synced a minute ago, and all these cars synced, a bunch of them. The motorcycle synced with cars, and then the bicycle synced with cars, and then the bicycle is syncing with other cars right now. One of them's parking, the other one's driving by, and the bicycle synced with them. Today I walked up to an intersection, like a little bit ago, I walked up to an intersection, and like right after I walk up to it, this white car pulls up, and this guy like yells out of the window. He's like across this intersection from me, like across the street from me, and he's like, "Hey man, I hope your life's going great. Don't smoke crack, bro," or some shit. Or the guy that was driving said that or something. Said, "Don't smoke crack, bro," or some shit. Like when they turned, he's like, "Don't smoke crack, bro." I see a bunch of cars sinking the entire time I'm talking out my window. There's birds chirping. They might be sinking, but they're always chirping sync, so I don't know if they're chirping sync right now or not. But they be walking up sync. Did you hear the engine sounds outside? They was walking up sync. Yeah. Let's set my camera up here. It's supposed to, in case a bird flies over the sink or a plane flies over sinks. Set my camera up here in case they sink over my head. So I just want to do an episode of the Walkenup Sink podcast because there's a lot of things to talk about all the time. I don't necessarily have to talk about it, need to talk about it, but it's kind of like therapeutic in a way to talk about it and just like get it out. And like if other TIs are watching, they can relate and maybe learn some things or get like reassurance that they're not alone out there or whatever. Like, do y'all hear babies crying synced? I do. It's weird. It's weird as fuck. I don't know if anybody else has talked about babies crying synced other than me. I don't think I've ever heard any other TIs talking about that. And they might get babies crying synced, but they don't know that that's what's happening yet. They haven't, like, they just think it's a baby crying, but like, or they're just like, oh, it's a coincidence. But it's not a coincidence in my case, because it's always happening synced, and especially when I go to Walmart. That's like the most popular place to have babies crying synced on me is Walmart. but it's happened at a bunch of other places too. But like when I go to Walmart, it's like a 90% chance or like an 85% chance that a baby's gonna cry synced. Maybe even multiple of them. And then that guy on that video I recorded today, well, first there's the ambulance at the intersection, which the siren started synced when I walked by the Freemason building, and then it met me at the intersection, and then the whitey that like pulled over on the side of the street, the white SUV, because the ambulance was coming, so it pulled over on the side of the street. But then it was just sitting there still after the ambulance passed, and then it just slowly drives up and drives by me when I get across the street. And then but then it's just like sitting there, it's like waiting, it's like sitting there like it's waiting for something, like it's waiting for a car to turn in front of it, or it's waiting for someone to cross the street in front of it or something. But like there's nothing there, like there's nobody in its way. It's just doing it just to sync on me. Like there's no other explanation. Like what is it doing? Like there's nothing in its way. There's no, did it see a ghost? Did she see a ghost in front of her car or something? Like is she hallucinating? Did she see a car that's not really there? Like what? Like what's the explanation? Other than she's doing it to sync on me because she's a stalker hit. But then right after that, I walk by the alley. This guy's walking up with one hand in his pocket and walking by me at the alley. And then the wind blows my hat off synced when I walk by him. And then he's pointing right next to me at my hat on the ground. And then he's like walking up to it, like gonna pick it up and give it to me. But like I'm walking over to it to pick it up, and I'm like, I got it, dude. And then and then I pick it up and I set my bag down on the ground. Like I was carrying a bag with like a bottle of water in it and shit. So I set it down on the ground and pick my hat up, and then he's just standing there like pointing at the bag on the ground. Like he's like, dude, or whatever. He's like, and he's just like standing there. Like, why is he just standing there pointing at the bag on the ground? Like, dude, I can get the bag. Like, I got it, dude. Like, I'm an adult. I got it, bro. He's just standing there. And I'm like, why do you sync? And he's like, why do I sing? And he was walking, like before he walked by me at the alley, he had one hand in his pocket. He's walking the whole way with one hand in his pocket. The hidden hand. I'll see him walking with one hand in their pocket. There's a bunch of people walking by, or like a bunch of children walking by. I don't know if they're sinking. I think they're sinking. But like, they'll be walking all the way up the street with one hand in their pocket. And it's like, why are you walking all the way up the street with one hand in your pocket? What's the explanation for that? Like people just do things that's nonsensical. And then I've been seeing a lot of people pointing synced, but they're pointing at like nothing though. Like they're pointing, like what are they pointing at? And I'll like yell at them, because it would not yell, but I'll be like talking loud. Like, you're yelling at people? Oh my god, you're a crazy person. People yell at me all the time though. People yell at their cars at me. But if I yell at people, I'm a crazy person. But anyway. So I'll talk loudly at a loud volume at them, because they'll be like close to me up ahead. And I'll be like, what are you pointing at? Like, what did you point at? What's up there? And then, like, the other day I was looking out my apartment window. This guy is, like, pointing up at my apartment. But he's, like, pointing at the place that's next door to me, like, but, like, down there. So he's, like, pointing, he's, like, it's over there, or whatever, to these guys, and then they walk in there. But he was pointing up at my window, though. Like, he's pointing, like, in the wrong direction, you know? Like, he should be pointing, like, level, but he's pointing up. Like, why is he pointing up? And then, like people walking up this ahead of me on the sidewalk or whatever, they'll just be, like, pointing. Like, I saw this lady, like, pointing up at something. Unless she was pointing at the sign on this building or something. I don't know. Maybe she was pointing at the sign on the building or something. I don't know. But I was like, what's up there? Like, what are you pointing at? And then she doesn't answer me. She just walks in the door. Synced. I was like, what are you pointing at, dude? I want to see what you're pointing at. Because I don't understand what's over there. And then on the video, one video I did today, the lady was pointing at me synced with her red shirt, and then she's walking away next to me, and I walk by her, and all the other people are walking away next to me, and the other one's getting in the car next to me and whatever. As I walk by the car, they're all walking away next to me and shit. This is like walking up sync. Maybe walking up sync. So, what else was walking up sync? There's been a lot of bugs flying in my face synced. There's an engine sound outside that sounds synced right now. And a bunch of other sync cars driving by the entire time I'm talking, people walking by synced, and people on bicycles synced. And I've been seeing a lot of dog walkers and bicycles synced because it's nice weather outside, and I've been seeing a lot of motorcycles synced, and every motorcycle that I ever see is synced, I think. Or like, there's been a few motorcycles in the past 3 years since I woke up to the sync that might not be synced, but all the rest of them are synced, like 90% of them at least. Like, every time I see a motorcycle it's synced, or hear a motorcycle. It's like, to get a motorcycle license you have to sync. Pretty much the same thing with bicycles, and then dog walkers. Like, every time I see someone walking a dog, they sync. Like, nobody walks their dog unsynced out here. Like, nobody. Everybody walking dog in the past 3 years was synced, at least 90% of them. They be walking up sync. So vote for ILCAT 2028. You can vote at the Cash App or the PayPal link in the comments. You can vote there. Go vote. Put in your vote. Every vote counts. Vote for ILCAT 2028. We're gonna stop the Walkenup, because when I'm president, I'll be a billionaire, and I'm gonna fix the world, and I'm gonna also I don't know. We're gonna stop the Walkenup scene. So vote for ILCAT. Street lights are turning on, synced right now, as they always do. Every night, if I look out my window and see them turning on, they'll do it synced. Or if I'm walking up the street and they turn on, they'll do a sync, like the street lights when they turn on for the night. They'll turn on synced with something, or they'll sync something with it. Or no, they'll even turn on synced, because like they'll turn on like right as I walk up to an intersection. So like they turn on synced. And then they can control, they just like flashed on and off and back on again right now. It's probably synced. They can control all the street lights, like they can make each one of them like turn on and off and whatever, but like usually it's just like a certain one that'll do it, turn on and off sync, which I've talked about a bunch of times. Go watch my other videos. But like one night I was looking at my apartment and like all the street lights were like were like flickering, and it was like there was an electrical problem or something. Like they're just like flickering like on and off and shit. And then like they turned on or whatever, and then like one of them flickered when a car drove out underneath it and shit. Like it was the sync machine doing it. They just do all types of weird shit. They be walking up saying, I don't know, should I keep the camera rolling in case the siren drives out or a car alarm? I think I already said this. Yeah, I already talked about the car alarm the other day that was going off for 5 minutes straight outside my apartment. And it like turns off synced with whatever I was doing. And then there's a truck beeping, I think last night, it was beeping for a really long time, and then it turns off synced with whatever I was doing. I forget what I was doing, but it turned off synced with it. It was like right when I picked my phone up or some shit like that. So I see a million sync mobiles driving by, synced up with each other over and 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 over. And then a light, like headlights, just turned on synced of a parked car, and then another car is turning on in a driveway where the cars are always pulling in and out of synced, so it's probably about to sync and turned on synced. And then there's cars meeting each other at the intersection as it starts to back up. It looked like it shifted into gear. It's not backing up yet, but it synced with the cars meeting each other at the intersection though. The lights, like it looked like it shifted into reverse or something. Oh, here it goes. It's backing up. It's driving forward right as another car drives into sight. And then they're gonna sync with each other as another car syncs as they drive out of sight, and then another car drove out synced with them, and then they're gonna start a chain reaction of syncs, and they're gonna be walking up sync.